Hopefully, you guys had a fantastic weekend and a great week. Yes, last week.
Absolutely.
Got my notes ready. We gonna have good time. All right. Looks like we are live. Let me go ahead and start recording here. There's Rita. There she be. All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, one of my favorite days in the whole week. I want to welcome you all here today. Hi, Keisha. Pleasure to see you. Hello, Nano. Hello, Jorge. Hello, Virgil. Hello, Rita. Hello, Vicky. Kind of reminds me of Romper Room. I date myself. And I see Jorge and Virgil and Rita. Appreciate y'all being here today. It is Monday. It's one of my favorite days of the week. This is our Monday Mastermind. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we come here live every Monday, 12 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to join us live here in the panel, you can go to live.thelosttransition.com. So what we do here is join every Monday. We talk to celebrate the wins from those of us that come here and enjoy and learn this process that we like to call network marketing or marketing in general. And we do a training piece so that we have something that we can collectively use for our week going forward. We forget about any bad things that happen and we reset for the week in essence. So Mondays are very important days, especially in the mind of an entrepreneur. Most people, if you're working a 9 to 5, typically don't like Mondays because it's their cue to go back to work. For those of us that are true diehard network marketers or marketing in general fans, we love Mondays. It's for me, I kind of look at what I do not necessarily as a 9 to 5, but it is work related in essence. There is no secret get rich quick, right? So there is some work that's involved. But what we teach here with the lost transition is in essence moving away from that 9 to 5 and then into doing something that you love, right? Whether it be network marketing or running your own business. But here's the thing about that. Most people don't have all the skill sets and knowledge that they need to conduct business properly or even effectively or, to have the success that they're wanting to have. So those are some of the things that we cover here every single Monday. We hope that you'll join us. And with that being said, this is week 39. We got some really cool, important stuff for you guys today. And we're calling this one Lead Magnet Mastery. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering Mike Dillard's playbook. For those of you that don't know who Mike Dillard is, you should. You definitely should. If you're in network marketing, you've never heard the name Mike Dillard, I'm going to show you a place that you can take a look and also research as well. But this gentleman by the name of Mike Dillard, he's highly, highly respected in the network marketing industry. This is a gentleman who is considered the OG or the godfather of attraction marketing. So that's one of the things that we teach here. We also teach, obviously, the psychology of sales behind that and how it coincides and ties in with the attraction marketing. Because we don't want to go out there and misrepresent ourselves, right? I always say that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So if we can go out there and make that great first impression, right, and learn these different skill sets, know how to communicate with other people, if we're in the network marketing arena or doing sales, we're going to find it a lot easier for us to get over those humps and hurdles and get through more sales, right? Especially when you think about the psychology side of things and you learning those different things. But anyway, the goal of today is to teach everybody here about lead magnets and how we're going to fix those little nuances that maybe you didn't know before. So I highly recommend that you do take notes. We tend to drop gold nuggets or gold bars around here, so it's going to be fun. That being said, we'd like to start off with the wins from the audience. So I hope some of you guys have some wins stacked up there so that we can share with everybody. If you got a win, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll get you into the queue. I know I have one win I already posted on Facebook, but I'm going to share it publicly here. Anybody got any wins that they want to share to get us started? Hi, Jackie. Hi, Victor. Virgil, go ahead, brother. Hi, Tony.
I'll, I'll get it started. It's a small win, but again, sometimes give or take how you see it, these small wins are actually big ones. Um, Keeping in trend with what has been happening, which is already a big win, because at one point I was uh, maybe in a doubt zone about keeping up the momentum with everything that is happening, especially what I'm expected to do with the new venue that I'm managing there. So I wasn't sure, but this weekend, again, being able to keep on with that trend was great. It wasn't that there was a lot of people or that it was a big success, but there was something that happened is I've been teasing the idea of first the interaction that I've been building with these artists or these young artists have been really picking up in the sense that they've now been contacting me regularly for conversation around their press kit, their branding, their marketing approach, and not being able to hit the conversation with due respect and due time with each one of them. I was teasing the idea of going live on TikTok because that's their realm and getting them to come and have discussion with me over branding. So what we're doing on Tuesday, Wednesdays, but specifically for artists on the TikTok in the TikTok environment. And I've been teasing that idea, and I tried this weekend to run it. It wasn't a success, but the whole interaction around it was great. And this is why sometimes what you do here, I mean, this conversation around attraction is something that I want to hear today because um, through the process, I gave them an appointed time to meet me there so we can test the uh, the implementation of that. I had to download TikTok Live, TikTok Studio, because I don't have necessarily the following. And I didn't really set it up properly in this new environment. So it was really a test. But when I put out the idea this weekend, a lot of them manifested the interest. Some of them showed up. Most of them apologized for not being able to show up. And basically, well, I use that word, but and started booking appointments for the next session. And what I want to do is create an environment where they can each come in and we can have these conversation around their brand, their product, but also their artists, their artistry and their becoming. And they're very, very well receiving to that. And the fact that more than one came to that trial was a victory on its own. Even if I wasn't able to complete the whole thing as I saw fit, it was a big victory. And it's only putting me ahead of the necessity of doing more of these venues. So that was my share. It was impulsive, but it was great. And it's the fact that everybody that I've touched so far with that idea and that have interacted with me around that is very receptive to what I put out there. Is that's the major win there. So
That's
that's what I
awesome,
wanted to
brother.
share.
Congratulations. And
Thank
real
you.
quickly, can you tell us what kind of artists are you working with?
Well, they're
Musician?
musician. Yeah, musician. Well, right now I'm opening the venue for musicians, so performing artists on the microphone. But we have enough space in the venue so that I can start doing fashion shows and even bringing dance crew all together. I have a lined up for band, night, jazz, and especially cocktail rollout. Just have to bring these guys in, which I have no doubt now that I will be able to. The venue sells itself.
Nice.
So,
So, if anybody watching has artists or musicians that need some help with branding, reach out to Virgil. I'm sure he can help take care of them. I've got a couple of myself. One of them I've been trying to work with. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the whole fact of you just taking action. That's super, super important, right? Whether one person shows up or 50 shows up, it doesn't matter. It's only because you took action that you saw something, and then that's going to help you elevate your status and keep moving forward, so on and so forth, right? So appreciate you sharing that with us, brother. Congratulations on your success now and your future success as we roll through. You're definitely going to love some of the information we're going to share today. A lot of it is more so catered towards online marketing itself, which is going to be perfect for you and everybody in here. But congratulations, man. Kudos to
thank
you.
you.
Really excited for you, brother. Can't wait to hear how big it gets and how many artists you're working with and stuff like that. I love it.
Well, guess what?
Maybe
Next time I'll share the link so that you guys can come and see these kids express. Well, it's in French. That could be a problem. But yeah, there are some English guys too. Anyways, that was for me. Thank you for the love.
No, no, good stuff, brother. Good stuff. Jackie, did you have some wins you wanted to share, my friend? Pleasure to see you, by the way.
Hello,
Hi, Dan.
everybody. I got another client or lender. So I just wanted to say the 5 an hour coach actually works. It's brilliant, and I just want to thank you for that.
I love you so much. Could you just say that one more time?
I said the 5 an hour, honestly, that 5 an hour, having five conversations an hour, it really does work. I still haven't found a way to relax in the evening because sometimes friends want to talk to me in the evenings and I haven't got the energy. I really haven't. So I have to find a way to address that. But I did get someone to a lender, so that's pretty good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's at least three now, right?
Yes,
Congrats, girl. Good job. Good job.
thank you.
If you could do, what, one, two, three, five a week, how many, what would you be going for yourself, Jackie, to make yourself happy? Two, three a week? How many?
I'd like three.
Three?
I think I could get if I could get three a
Cool.
week. That'd be lovely. Yeah,
I could see that happening. The way you're on track right now, I could see that happening.
yeah.
I
Thanks.
hope you can see it too. Just stay at it, especially now that you know it works. Just keep doing what
Yeah.
works, right? That's a big thing too. A lot of times that I've seen, even myself, like when I say this, I'm not trying to exclude myself. We'll have something that works and then we'll see this new shiny object. Maybe it's not necessarily a business that we jump into, but a new tool or something, right? I think Virgil has mentioned that before. And we just get distracted from what really works, right? So once you find what's working, keep doing it over and over and over. That was in genuinely speaking, that was what made me successful door to door. I knew my presentation, figured out how to close, and I just kept doing the same thing. Every person I talked to, I said the same thing. They'd say an objection, and I'd say the same answer to objection. You know what I mean? So that's why, you guys hear me talk about acting as well sometimes. Gotta act as if. You have to act as if that role that you're playing, whether it's a bank lending officer or a branding marketing specialist, right? Or a network marketer. So totally makes sense. Congratulations, girl. I'm so excited for you. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Anybody else want to follow that? Rita, Miss Rita, you got some wins over there?
Of course, I always have wins.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I've been away for a few weeks, but I'm back and hopefully I will have more continuity. I'm not home yet, but um, I was able to jump on the call. Just a lot of things that are going on with my parents. And so that's a big win for me, number one, in being able to help. And also because of being an entrepreneur, I'm able to do that. But I also got a big win. I was asked to speak at a conference this month, actually. So I'm super excited about that. And it's a couples conference in Orlando. So I'm really excited to do that. I haven't settled on everything yet, but that is something that's up and coming, and which will give me, if I want to have a space there, I can at that point promote my money mastery for Munchkins. So that's always in the background, but I'm excited about that. Speaking is, I love to do that because I love to share info. Back
Sure.
to you.
I love it. Love it. Thank you and congratulations. I can't wait to hear about your meeting that you address and how well it goes. Thank you for sharing, my dear.
Thanks.
Anybody
Good to be
else?
back.
Any other wins? If not, I'll share my quick win and then we'll get into this information because we will need some time. There's a lot to cover. So I'm just happy to report, not that it matters a whole lot to anybody other than myself, but I'm down to 175 pounds. I hit another one of my target weight loss goals. I posted on Facebook the other day, yesterday, I think it was, something like that. At one point in time, you may not have known me back then, but I got all the way up to 220 pounds. Boy, boy, was I fat. Yeah. And at 5'8", I was obviously overweight. I had problems like sleep apnea and stuff. Needless to say, being a military veteran, it was difficult for me to sleep. But through grit, determination, and time, and again, goaling myself properly, I do want to mention that. I was able to drop a few more pounds. We're down to 175. Now that I've been able to gather the data that I always talk about, if you guys have been around me long enough, I believe that there should be no issue to be able to drop at least 10, maybe even another 15 pounds. So I'm pretty excited about that. Stepped on the scale the other day, which is another thing. You don't want to step on the scale every day if you're doing weight loss. Like, just check it every so often when you're feeling good about yourself. Jump on that scale, see how you reflect. But that's my quick win. So thanks. Just like to share that with everybody and have a little win there. With that being said, let's dive into this information because, as I mentioned, we are going to need some time for this. Mostly because I'm certain that once we go into this information, there's probably going to be a few questions at the end, right? So we're going to do what we can to answer your questions and have enough time to wrap this all up within 1 hour. We used to do 2 hour shows, and that can still happen from time to time. Just most of the time, we see that some other people have prior obligations, right? So back into today's lesson. This is week 39. We're going to talk about lead magnet mastery. And in essence, what we're doing is we're pulling from Mike Dillard's playbook. And his playbook, and what we're going to talk about is literally how to build irresistible opt-ins and funnels. This is known as what we call lead magnets in the industry. And if at any time you guys, have comments or whatever, just do me a favor and raise your hand and we can fill those through as we go through. But I definitely would like you guys to take notes, pre-log to what I was getting into if you hadn't, came in a little bit late. If you don't know who this gentleman by the name of Mike Dillard is, he's considered the OG, the OG, the original gangster of lead magnets and attraction marketing, right? And one thing that I do want to preface, if you're inside of the Lost Transition, let me find it real quick here. I posted a video for everyone. If you get the time, let's see if I can find it here. Inside the Lost Transition, I would highly, highly recommend that you watch this video that I posted in here. The video that I posted is of another friend of mine, is seven-figure earner Todd Falcone. If you don't know who he is, you probably should as well. Todd Falcone was actually my inspiration to even getting online so many years ago. What story was, I saw this character that Todd Falcone was playing. This is Todd Falcone, by the way. And if you don't know, his character is called Buzzy Boxer. And he would come out and he would market, still does to this day, but it was kind of like this spoof type stuff, spoof advertising before spoof advertising was really spoof advertising. Like now you'll see a lot more people if you're paying attention in your feeds and the reels, like you'll see the gorillas that are all AI and they're doing all these things, right? It's a funny type of advertising that obviously changes people's state, which we talk a lot about here, and gets them drawn into it, makes them drawn into whatever the content is. Anyway, he had some character or a character that he would play, Buzzy Boxer. And when I saw that character online, I thought, man, I could do that. Like I was an extra in the movie From the Earth to the Moon. I did like 3 years of drama and theater arts. Like I love that idea. And it was just from that simple character that made me think, hey, let's jump online and let's try this. I didn't go through and I didn't do any characters or anything like that. But my point is he's the inspiration of why I even came into network marketing to begin with. And yes, I've told him that he knows. Mike Dillard is, as I mentioned, he's an OG of attraction marketing. And in this, you'll find out a lot of deep rooted things about Mike Dillard, what's been going on in his life, because he literally was off the radar for about 7 years. I'm not going to say why. I'll allow you to take the time to go watch and you'll see what happened to him. But just really fascinating stuff, especially when he gets into the section about dopamine, right? I won't go deep into that topic either, but realistically, when we're out here and we're doing these network marketing things or anything in life, realistically, even if we're not a smoker, we're not a drinker, we're always looking for what's called dopamine hits, right? Just part of the body's natural reaction. And if we can learn some of these things and we can bring in sales, those sales will give you quite the dopamine hit. I will tell you right now. You know, Jackie could probably tell you that it gives you such a dopamine hit when you're able to get a sale. But we're not the type of people that we go and like prey on people, right? We want to attract those people to us, help them out because they have a problem. And then, in essence, that's the easiest way for us to get paid, right? It's by solving problems. So, that being said, do take the time to watch that video. It's there. And leave me a comment or two. Let us know how you enjoyed the information. Back to the information. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you guys get a really good build up of the information that I'm going to share from you, why it's so important. And just a side note, Mike Dillard's been responsible for approximately $60 million in like three different businesses, right? So it's coming from a person who's high caliber. And again, he's just the OG of attraction marketing. And when you watch and listen to his videos and uh, anything, just how he speaks in general, you'll pick up some really amazing and beautiful things. So we'll dive in here and talk about really why mostly lead magnets flop, right? And how to flip that script. I like using that terminology because I've got that in, within my own page because of some of the things that I've learned from Mike Dillard and other leaders throughout the years. But here's some of the reasons we have to talk about why things fail and how to correct them. You know, a lot of times you'll hear other coaches want to teach you how to do things, right? But I like to teach us also how not to do things, if that makes sense, right? So instead of just teaching you how to get a yes, I want to teach you like why people get no's, right? And if you can learn why something is negative or a rejection in your life, you can learn how to overcome that objection or rejection and make things a little bit better, right? Most people, when they start out in the network marketing, don't have this information, the skill set, right? So we tend to be out there wandering the vastness of space with no real point in destination, right? And then we told, hey, yeah, build a lead magnet, give them something of value, right? We hear all these different things, and we're like, what does that even mean, right? So most things happen for a reason, if not everything. But here's why things don't work when it comes to a lead magnet. If you try to put a lead magnet together before and you're like, yeah, it just didn't do what I wanted it to, that kind of thing. These are probably why it flopped, right? Maybe your promise was too vague or too broad. It didn't point directly to whatever that solution to your problem is. And you might hear a couple of conflicting factors as we go through these slides, but trust me, it's all going to be worth the effort and the information that we're going to share from you or with you, excuse me. But maybe there's not a quick win, right? It doesn't say how long it's going to take me to go from point A to point Z. This is something that I learned from my other mentor, Darren. He said, if you can show somebody how to go from point A to point Z, that's ultimately what your job is to do, right? If you can't point them from A to Z, then we've got a problem. Most times too, if not all times, it's gonna not be beneficial by your opt-in, right? You say that it has friction or too many fields. If you're out there and you're trying to give away something and you want their name, their address, their phone number, their email, automatically it's gonna be like walls going up, photons set to stun. You have to think about these things. So the less friction you have, the easier, right? You don't want to have them give too much information or feel that way. In fact, case in point, I got a juror card in the mail, and I was told to go to this particular website, put in this code, do this, do that, right? And then go through this questionnaire to see if I qualified to be a judge or whatever, or, you know, uh, I don't know, one of those guys. Not doing it. As I started going through the questions, there was like wanting all kinds of information. My name, my address, my birthday, my wife's address, what she did. It was just too much. I could feel this overwhelm just even trying to go through that. So I'm saying that so that you guys truly, truly understand. If you have too much there and you make that for a person feel like, no, you just want too much information, then that could be a big factor too. All right. So we want to keep it very simple for people. Name and email, maybe just an email, but no more than two, really, right? And then potentially the magnet might be misaligned with the whatever your paid offer is. So I'll dive into this for just a moment because a lot of times what happens is we have a disconnect when it comes from creating a lead magnet to what it is that we're trying to get that person from the lead mag to the other side of the street, which is whatever our business is. Everybody with me? Understand? Right? I know Virgil does. I see him shaking his head. So that's a huge part or disconnect. For me, my PDF directly aligns with what I'm trying to do because I want to give them the information on why they will fail. And then the solution is the coaching and training that I offer, right? So, but others, in many cases, they're not aligned. So if I was to give away my free PDF, it wouldn't be in direct alignment for me to come talk to you about one of my businesses versus my coaching or my training. Make sense? So if you're going to do a lead magnet, what I'm saying is if you're going to do a lead magnet, you might need to create multiple lead magnets depending on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And if you're running multiple businesses. I say that because I know many of us in here and those that might be watching run multiple businesses. So you need to think about that when you're putting this lead magnet together. It's very important that you take take heed with what I'm telling you right now. Just please pay attention to that. But instead of doing all that other stuff, this is the stuff we want to focus on, okay? One specific outcome with a time frame. So what is the outcome that your company, your product will do for your particular avatar, your target market? And what is the time frame? So like learn how to go from zero to hero in marketing in 90 days, as an example. Again, just right off the top of my head because I love marketing. You need one specific outcome, and what is the time frame that this will take them to get that outcome, right? Maybe it's a 5 to 15 minute win that you've actually done with or for somebody. It could be a video, right? And part of why we say video is because that's a way for you to clone yourself, not like clone, but clone like video. You might hear some of us say you need to clone yourself. What that means is to do a video so that the video then does the work for you, right? So instead of me going and knocking on 100 doors and exhausting my breath and saying the same thing, like I mentioned earlier, 100 times, I can just say it once, do it on video and record it and use that as my presentation. You guys have heard, I'm sure you have, like make money while you sleep, right? That's part of how it's done, is because the system that they set up, including the lead magnet, works for them no matter what they're doing, right? This is how this all works. If you grasp this part, man, you're doing great. Okay. because this is how it all ties together. We got to put the lead magnet out there to attract or draw the offer to us or the person. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that too to show you how you can actually separate the serious from the curious and make money at the same time before you send them to make more money. Who would like that? Raise your hand. Anybody want to see and hear about that? Okay, cool. Okay. Simple opt-in. Just name an email or just an email. Okay. Pre-frame the offer or story. So in essence, what this means is you want to pre-frame what's going to happen on that first page. Why are they going to put in their name and their email or just their email? Right? And then here's the contradiction that you might have heard between myself and Virgil and what we normally talk about is 3 to 5 follow-ups that teach and or bridge or both really, right? So the reason that I'm saying contradictory because we had to go back to when Virgil or I might be talking about a campaign. Okay, just to be clear. If I'm doing a campaign and I want to be the most effective, my long-term campaign is going to be at least 12 days. We've already discussed that. There's a reason for that, and that's simply because your percentages go up the more touches that you have in contact with that potential prospect, right? Significantly up from the fifth touch to the 12th touch. Now, if you're doing the fifth touch to the 12th touch and you've got videos that are included in these emails, that's going to also help build that know, like, trust. That's going to have that person like you, know you, and trust you without you even having to say one word to them. Get it? Everybody with me? Okay. So this is the, when you hear me say systems, Rita, dots coming together, I hope. Right? We put out the lead magnet. We get the person into our circle. We start dripping emails on them, or in many cases, it's social media feeds and posts. But we're, in essence, just building that know, like, trust, right? So this is why most of them fail. We want to stay away from, and then we want to focus on these things that are on the right. Okay. Now, let's get into the actual anatomy of what a high converting lead magnet is. Yes, I said high converting. So you might have a lead magnet that might be little or no conversion. We want to talk about having something that's going to have the best effectiveness or the highest converting source possible. So here's the core elements. We briefly spoke about that one, which is what is that specific promise and what is the time frame? Okay, I would highly recommend writing these down or taking a snapshot of this slide or what have you. But if you want a highly converting lead magnet, Vicky, all right, specific promise. What is that promise and what's the time frame for them to get it? Potentially include a video on that page. Doesn't mean that you have to have a video on the page, but videos help. Many times, what we call that type of funnel, if you will, is a hero story. You've heard Virgil and myself mention this multiple times. You could put a hero story on there. What was the quick win? That could be that 5 minute little video that attracts them to actually put in their name and email because of whatever that specific promise and that time frame is, right? If you're just giving them text, we have to remember all these things that we always talk about. There's 3 different ways that we learn: visual, auditorial, and kinesthetics or body language. Right? So for me, I'm not just a total visual, I'm video and audio and kinesthetic. Like I like to see videos. So text on a page won't necessarily close or convert me. Doesn't mean that it won't close or convert you or the person that you're trying to attract. Video for me works very well. I have to see a video, right? So think about that when it comes to your audience and your avatar and who you're actually trying to approach. Are you trying to approach somebody like me that's more audio and visual, or you just want somebody that's just a visual person and is okay with text? Either is fine, as long as they suit whatever your needs are. I can tell you though, I'm a tough cookie to crack, right? I'm not I am not your standard consumer by any shape, form, or fashion. Like I tell people all the time, I say, I'm not your target market, especially when it comes to the health and wellness industry. Not putting it down, I'm just not your target market, right? I learned many years ago, back in 2010, all about what I needed to know for health and wellness. I don't take any supplements. All I do is just thank God that He made us the way that He made us and that our body heals as long as we're putting the right things into it, doing the right things, with exception, obviously, right? The tangible format. Maybe it's a checklist, maybe it's a template, or a mini video like what I was talking about, maybe that 5 to 10 or 5 to 15 minute video, right? Then it needs to be aligned with potentially a paid offer, right? Have a simple opt-in, which is the name in the email. They get it immediately, and that typically comes from a thank you page, right? Or they can get it immediately, and then you can send them a follow-up email or those 3 to 5 emails that we were talking about, right? And then this is on the right, kind of a little bit of a diagram, if you will. Specific promise, a quick win, tangible format, aligned with whatever your paid offer is, a simple opt-in, and then it goes into email. Everybody clear on this so far? Any questions so far? No? Okay. We'll keep moving forward. So here's 5 lead magnet types that still work today in 2025. We're not going to share old information that doesn't work. Okay. Take note of this because these are the ones that you're going to want to sort through and figure out, well, what's going to be best for my audience, my target market? Who is it that I'm trying to attract, right? All that fun stuff. So write it down, take a snapshot, whatever you need to do. You can have a checklist, or maybe it's a cheat sheet, right? 10 easy ways to get people to open your email, as an example. And I'm going to say this publicly because I just have to. And I said this the other day on a live on Facebook. Please, for the love of God, if you're around my circles and you're learning from us, don't do what I'm seeing right now on social media unless you have an audience. And that's what I spoke about live the other day. This new little hack, I think it's, well, I won't even mention the name, almost did. I think it's coming from a specific organization and how they're teaching people, but they're teaching people to put this cool little line and then a arrow down for limit. Maybe it's 5 Facebook hacks to get more recognition or something stupid like that, right? That's what coming in my head. Point arrow down below. And then they'll have one comment and it'll be named number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And realistically, what they're doing is they're trying to trick Facebook algorithm and they say, oh, there's comments here. Let's show it to more people. It doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way. So please do yourself a favor and don't do that unless you have an audience that's already tuned to that, right? Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And it's sad to see. And I see it all the time, especially now that I've started bringing more people into my circle of influence. I'm seeing a lot of that. And it's like, oh my God. I almost instantly want to block them just because I don't want to see the content. But again, as I said in my live video on Facebook, I'm not bashing them. It's just what they know. It's what they're taught, right? So, like my drill sergeant used to say, Sabbath true, hard but fair. So a checklist might be good for you, right? Who wants my 10 DM openers? Who wants my 10 ways to get more leads? Whatever that checklist is, right? Or maybe it's templates or a swipe file. Who wants my 10 best-selling emails to get people moving into action, right? Maybe it's a funnel page template since most of us have Now Site. Like join in, opt in here, get this exact funnel for free, right? As an example. Third one, mini video training, right? Opt in here for a quick 7-minute video on how to get more opt-ins. Imagine that. How stupid and simple is that, right? Opt in below to learn how to get more opt-ins. Man, nobody laughed? I thought that was funny. Or a case study. Maybe it's a case study. Virgil loves case studies. Here's a case study. He talks about them all the time. Fill out the form below to learn about the case study of such and how they went from zero to hero in 90 days. Okay. And or the last one, the fifth one, there's maybe some kind of quiz assessment. Best for maybe, well, it's actually best for Virgil and I briefly talked about this too, segmentation when it comes to your email list, and maybe like a personalized path if you're doing personal development, if you're in that realm, right? Find out what your lead, what's your biggest lead problem is. Take this quiz, take this test. Okay? Everybody got those written down or screenshotted? Cool. All right, move on. So here's the blueprint. And it's like, I was joking and laughing, but it's true. Like, so stupid, simple. So stupid, simple, but we try to confuse things, right? We hear all this, we hear that, and I don't know, I was told this, and I was told this, and everybody was told something, but yet, keep it super simple. All you need is a hero headline. Here's the text, name and email, and a call to action. What I'm getting at is it does not have to be complicated, folks, right? Doesn't have to be complicated. It can be super, super simple and still get high results because you're not adding all the fluff and you're not adding all the distractions to keep somebody looking this way or that way, right? And you're completely focused on what the outcome and the time frame is for that particular person. Well, guess what? That means everyone that does opt in, they are laser targeted leads, my friends. You've heard that before, right? Anybody ever heard laser targeted leads? This is what we're talking about. This is the blueprint. Need a headline. What's the headline formula? What's the result in the time place or time frame for whatever your avatar is? We've already mentioned this a few times, so it should be driven home at this point. Result, time frame. What are you gonna get? Or better said, what am I gonna get if I fill out your form? Be specific. One simple call to action. No external links, no go check out here, go look here, go do this, go do that, none of that. Simple opt-in landing page. Oh, got some chat going on here. Let's see. Give to get. There you go. Exactly like Rita said. And I'm a firm teacher and believer in give to get, right? And if we need to touch on that in case you don't know, or maybe you're new, give to get, like if you want the universe to respond to you, you've got to give something to get something. You can't just be out there, gimme, 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 gimme. And I see that a lot. Oh my God, I see that a lot. And and of course, when you first start out, you don't recognize it. But once you know and you see it, it's like those things that you can't unsee, right? But there's so many people that are gimme, 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 gimme instead of here, maybe this will help. Here, try this, right? Rita knows it very well now, right? But you got to give to get. Give people something of value so that they even want to put in their name and email. So they even want to discuss whatever it is that you want to discuss with them, right? Visual cue pointing to whatever the call to action is, meaning have an actual arrow pointing to the button. Have an arrow pointing to the button. Like, in other words, here's the info. Here's what you got to do. When you do that, guess what's happening? It's on a psychological level from the viewer's vision that what they're seeing. Oh, well, it looks pretty simple. I must need to put in my name and email and click the button. Yeah, here we are trying to rebuild the wheel, reinvent the horse, when it can be so simple. Above the fold, you've heard us talk about that, which means this top portion of the website that you see. And then maybe you might have like 3 micro testimonials. You don't have to have those on that page, but you can, right? And those 3 micro testimonials would be under the fold, just so you know. So you would have your first top hero headline, whatever that, result is and time frame for your specific avatar, name, email, call to action with an arrow pointed to it. They scroll down. Here's micro testimonials. Virgil said this about his training. Rita said this about my training or my product, right? And then when they do the call to action, which, that's going to give you the social proof, but then you do the call to action, then boom, that's where it's going to go to the thank you page. Your thank you page is where that magnet's going to be delivered. And then on that page, have clear instructions on what it is that you want them to do, right? Take a look at this report, take a look at or take this test. Once you've done this, do this. We talked about, recently about micro commitments, which lead to macro commitments. Think about one micro commitment that you want them to do. Well, after they read or they do this, what is it that you want them to do? Right? What is it? Are you going to book a call? Or is it what we call a tripwire, which is going to send them to another paid product before your business opportunity? Hint, 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 which creates buyers traffic. If you've ever heard of that, hint, hint. I'm dropping gold nuggets. I hope you're picking them up. I hope you're picking them up. You can lead somebody from a free report to a $7 or a $27 commitment. And if they buy, then you take them from that commitment to your product. Is that clear? Everybody with me? If we're not, I need to know right now. Right now is the time to speak up.
Repeat that, please.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You can take and have a lead magnet, give them the lead magnet, let them do whatever it is that they need to do. Next offer, which is just one offer, one call to action. Click here if you want my second part of how I do this. It's only $7 or $27. So what you're doing is you're putting a product that's payable after the free product so that you can create a rabid buyer. When they buy, right, that's your buyers list. You know they bought something from you before. There's an odd of them buying again,
That
right?
would be perfect for you, Rita, because your giveaway could be a video, some 3 or 4 steps, and then you say, hey, if you want to hear more, if you want me to get more into X, Y, or Z, click this link, and for $7, I'll give you a 30-minute video on how to do X, Y, or Z.
Or
Or
even
for 20 or
yeah.
for $27, or whatever the case may be. And then you could even have a third one. Hey, for $97, I'll give you the whole ball of wax,
Sure.
right? Or whatever it is.
Yeah, but that would you're getting ahead of ourselves though.
Okay.
Slow down.
I've seen this so many times in what I do.
Yeah.
That it just, when you mention that, it just like, I'm thinking this would be perfect for her.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry.
But not just for her, but for anybody that's here. What I'm
No, I'm
saying,
just saying.
as far as you getting ahead, I'm saying this. What we're talking about is putting that paid offer in between whatever their business or their product is. So not necessarily going from one offer to the next. Can you do that? Yes. That would be more designed for teachers, entrepreneurs, coaches like myself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? I could say, if you like that information and want to book a 30-minute call or a 60-minute consultation, here it is for 27 bucks. 27 bucks. Shit, that's cheap for an hour. Cool. Let me book that call. Now we do that, do our thing while we're on that presentation. But look what happened. We got paid for it. Right? You got paid for your time before you took them into something else that'll help you get paid again. Make sense, everyone? Yeah?
Got it. Thanks.
Cool. Very welcome. Tell you, this is today, like again, this is stuff that I would normally reserve for my inner circle, and odds are we're gonna be covering this inside of the inner circle. We're gonna work with our guys to get their lead magnets completely done, just done the right way, and get them out there. So, inner circle membership is available. Hit me up. All right. So here's where it comes to the 3 to 5 emails that we were talking about at the beginning of this call, the nurture sequence, if you will. And here's kind of the blueprint on that so that you guys get a little bit of a easier understanding of how this works. And again, this is going to help everybody in here. If you pay attention, you use it to your advantage. I'd love to see you guys, like, I want to see everybody win here. And I would love to see you take this information that I'm giving you and actually do something with it. Okay? Because we can sit here all day and I could teach you all kinds of stuff and neat little tricks and stuff. But if you never use any of it, it's worthless. Okay? So don't waste your time. Do something with it, please. And you know I don't say please if you know me very well. All right, sequence goal, turn a quick win into conversations and then micro commitments. You heard me talk about that before. The micro commitments are the little yeses or what's going to get people to the bigger yeses or the bigger commitments or the macro commitments, right? So number one, make sure that you deliver and set whatever the expectations are. Be very honest with them. There's no reason to lie. They need to know exactly what they're getting into because if they don't and you misrepresent yourself, guess what? You're going to put a bad taste in people's mouth. And guess what else they're going to do? They're going to give you the worst advertising that you've ever wanted, right? They're going to go out and they're going to tell one person that's going to tell another person how horrible you don't deliver and you didn't set expectations and really, no, I thought it was okay, but it was lackluster, all those things, right? So make sure that there's the delivery's there and that you set expectations. You don't want somebody to put in their name and email, oh, well, I never got that ebook or I paid for this and didn't get that, right? On top of that, inside of those emails, with the 3 to 5, within those emails that you're sending out daily or every other day, do something to teach within those emails. Show that you're the authority in your niche. We've talked about this. Show you're the authority. Maybe it's just one tip, right? We've given you all kinds of different stuff that you can use even today, right? Even out of the five lead magnets, you could certainly take one and use it, learn it, gather the data, and then share the information of what you learned, right? Maybe it's a call to action like, hey, you want the template? Respond in an email or click here. If it's on social media, reply template, right? Proof and objections, case studies, mini proof bullet, before and after, right? This is so and so before they started. This is so and so after. Those are really good. Want the steps, right? Say checklist. Yes, there is some misspelling because AI is not that great. Still sucks just a little. And then number 4, bridge to offer. Right? You need to make sure that, most of all, like I said at the very beginning, is aligning that magnet to either paid offer, which in essence can either be the $7 to $27 offer on the front end, or to whatever your business offer is. Right? Whatever your affiliate marketing company, product and services are. Here's a few subject lines for you guys you can use. Your blank is inside. Like that will help people open up, right? I don't even remember what my tagline was for that lady that I was talking about. I think it was just like last week's replay or something like that. It wasn't very imaginative. Then she emailed me back, oh, fraud, spam. It's a training video, lady. But to get people to open up, we got to think about the subject lines, call to action tips right here. Your such and such is inside. Maybe it could be quick win number one, DM opener number three, if you're in number three of that series. Whatever the case study is, 17 leads in 7 days. Want me to send the full template? Any of those would be great subject lines for you to use. The cadence, as it shows down there below, daily for 3 to 5 days. These are days 0, which is the first day, and then day 1, which would be the next day, and then day 3 and day 5. So first day, next day, skip a day, skip a day. First day, next day, skip a day, skip a day. We can make a song out of it if you like to remember. What do you think? Today, tomorrow, skip a day, skip a day. Right? So, and this is true too, like it says here, email and DM follow-up if you're connected with them on social network. Right? You could potentially say right on Facebook. Again, I'm just pulling from the ether. I just created a brand new lead magnet that teaches you how to, have 30 signups in 90 days. Comment down below, comment done, or comment whatever it is, right? They say, okay, yeah, I'm interested. Now, boom, we moved to the DM. We started saying, hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Yeah, pretty good so far. So I just wanted to confirm, right? You wanted to take a look at that lead magnet that I sent you? Yeah, yeah. You want it right now? Sure, yeah, I'll take a look at it right now. Cool. Go ahead and take a look at it and let me know what you think. If you have any questions, get back to me or whatever the case may be. And boom, let them take off, let them get that information. All right. Next day, maybe you have that email sequence already set up. Maybe you drop into the DM and say, hey, brother, I hope you enjoyed the information. Look for an email. This should be coming out today, by the way. Have a great day. If you need anything, let me know. All right. Skip a day. Day 3. Hey, bud, should have another email coming out. Imagine the power of what I'm teaching you if you actually do this. All right. Hey, check your email. You should have another one. Oh, shit. Let me check my email. Now they're going to go look at the email. They're going to consume the content, right? Everybody with me? Make sense? Cool. All right. Here's a few advanced moves because we're 2 minutes over. Well, typically, like I said, we've done 2 hours before, so I'll have to kind of run through this. Keisha, go ahead.
Yeah, the reason that would work on somebody like me is I'm so used to people spamming me after I get whatever it is I went in there for that I don't look at my emails. I literally, anybody who knows me knows if you send me an email, send me a text because I'm only going in to look for your email. I will not
Yeah.
just scroll through my email. So
Case in
no matter
point.
what your tagline is, I won't see it. You know
Case
what
in
I'm
point.
saying?
Yeah.
You know what
Case
I'm saying?
in
So
point.
when I'm looking for Robert, I go in, Robert sent me something. I go in, I type in Robert from the jump. I don't see anything. When Jackie sends me something, I go in, Jackie.
Yeah. Yeah.
She knows to send me a text message.
I know this to be true myself, my friend. Yeah, I know. And it's case in point though, exactly what we're talking about. So thank you. Thank you for adding that feedback. Definitely appreciate it. So here's because we're gonna try to get you guys onto whatever it is that you need to be doing. But here's just a few advanced moves. We'll cover this pretty fast. We've already talked about the tripwire. But segmentation on opt-in tag by pain level or persona. This is something else that you could do when you're dealing with your segmentation. Maybe Virgil will get into that topic a little bit more on How to Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see. Tripwire, anywhere from $7 to $27, offer a post opt-in to qualifying buyers, right? Covers ad spend if you're doing ads that are out there. And I'll tell you this too, and Dale knows this. I don't recommend that you do any ads. None. If you do this the right way and what we're talking about, you won't have to spend any money on ads. But then once you know that it works, now if you want to scale your business and do more, that's when you put in ads. And I just want to be very clear about this because if you ever hear marketers that are out there, scale your business, I hear that crap all the time. Really, what it means is pay money for ads, right? We don't teach that around here. We're not trying to tell you to go deep into debt because you're spending money that you don't damn have to try to make money that you won't make because you don't have the right skill set. That's not what we do around here. Go ahead, Keisha, real quick.
Yeah, same, just to back you up on that. That's one of those things where if you scale it before it's working, you're
Boom.
paying money for something not to work, basically. So first you get it working, first you get the money coming in from the thing you did, and then you scale. It
Yes,
makes no sense to scale before be
absolutely.
scalable, but don't scale it. Don't pay the extra to scale it.
100%. You might as well just be setting your money on fire, and I have better uses for that if you want to just send it my way.
I agree. I'm happy to put up my Cash App.
Retargeting. This is all going to come from ads. If you don't know what we're talking about, you don't have to worry about it because you're not there yet. Okay, so don't worry about it. Value stacking. Virgil and I talk about that. Virgil mostly adding to the value that we've talked about before on some of these Monday Masterminds. Bundling the magnet. You're going to have a video walkthrough. Maybe you also have a swipe file. Progressive profiling. Start with an email. Later collect more fields, right? You don't have to know everything about that person when you get started. You just need to open or crack the door open, as I like to say. That door can easily be opened by just having the name and an email address so that you have a way of communicating with them. You might not be connected on social media. Like this chick that's gonna report me or report me. I don't know who the hell she is. I just know she's on my email list, you know? So I tapped into my email list, whatever. Tools, pixel setup, again, that's far too advanced unless you start getting into paid ads. And when we talk about pixel setup, we're talking about Facebook retargeting pixels or others, Google pixels. Not going to go too deep down that rabbit hole. Case study, quickly. This is one thing that I definitely wanted to show you guys so that you really gather the concept of this whole picture. Let's say from a 40,000 foot view, right? So you put out a lead magnet out there. You know, maybe it's my 10 DM openers or the checklist, right? This is my checklist, opt in here. And you do that landing page and you might have a 42% opt in. And we're just throwing numbers out there out of the ether again, just to kind of show you guys. And then you have those four messages on the first day, the next day, skip a day. Maybe 23% of them actually replied to what that offer was. And that conversion is maybe it was a book call or whatever offer. And for that, you had 15% that actually booked. And out of that, you have 8% that you actually sold. I wanted to show this because some of you might have heard me talk about building compression. Anybody? You ever heard me talk about building compression in your business? This is what I'm talking about. So when you're doing what Jackie's doing because she's super coachable and she's doing 5 conversations per hour. Oh, damn, she left, didn't she? Talking good things about her. She's not even here. Right? She's building up that compression. Oh, she is. Oh, cool. I thought she left. Oh, there you are. Right? You understand what I'm saying, though, Jackie? This is what's happening in the grand scheme of things. Only you're doing it just through how you're doing it. You're not doing it necessarily through emails, right? But this is the whole point of why I wanted to show this. This is that building of compression so that every time you have that offer, you book that call, that you have X amount of sales after out of it, right? So magnet, nurture, then convert. Just an example of the flow there. 60-minute build plan. Here's what I want you guys to focus on and take a look at. See if you can accomplish this. 0 to 5 minutes, choose your avatar. What's the problem? What is the problem that you're going to solve? Because ultimately, this is how you're going to create the best lead magnet that you can create. What is the problem you're going to solve? Maybe it might be business funding, right, Jackie? It doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to think long about it. Just think, what is the problem we're solving and go direct. Maybe 5 to 15 minutes, you can craft whatever that promise is. 15 to 30 minutes, draft whatever your magnet is. We all have artificial intelligence capable or available to us, ChatGPT, whatever else. Draft that magnet up. If you have Now Site or another way to create a landing page, maybe 30 to 45 minutes for that landing page. Because again, we're not making this super complicated. We're keeping it super simple. We're going to have a simple opt-in page, simple thank you page. Realistically, it could be 2 pages. Not super time consuming, not super challenging. If you have problems, obviously get with whoever your upline is or somebody that can help you, or, join the inner circle. 45 to 55 minutes is that's what it's going to take, if nothing else, to create, maybe quicker than that, the nurture emails. And the reason I'm saying that amount of time is because although we can use artificial intelligence, I want you to make sure that you go through and read each one of those emails and make sure that those emails actually make sense and they're directly tied into what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Okay? But overall, like, some of this stuff can be done in a matter of a couple of hours. The things that we could do now in a couple of hours used to take myself and others days, weeks, months. Vicky's shaking her head. She knows. Right? What's the output that we're looking for? We're looking for a lead magnet PDF from you that's going to go to your ideal avatar and solves a problem. We're looking for a landing page outline. I want to see it. What's it look like? And the email series, I'm not going to go through unless you're in the inner circle and go see what your email says and dig into it and all that other jazz. I don't have time for that unless you're in the inner circle. But that is your homework, is to watch that Mike Dillard video, get to know a little bit more about him, because even though they go into something that might interest you, and I'm not telling you this to go buy it. Um, But the things that you'll see on there should be very fascinating for you. Again, the biggest thing that I loved out of that whole conversation was when he started talking about the dopamine hits. Like, if you get that part and then understand, like, we can take any bad habit, replace it with a good habit, and even if it's a sale, you get that dopamine hit. That's that rush that people are looking for. That's what we're living for as humans, right? So. Anyway, it's your turn, my friends. I gave you all this silver platter, gold nuggets, bars dropped. Pick whatever magnet type you want. Checklist, template. In fact, why don't you go ahead and write in the chat what type of magnet are you going to create? Write it in the chat. You're going to do a checklist, a template, give away a template. You're going to do a little video. Maybe it's a quiz, case study. Would love to hear some of you guys' options of what you plan on doing. Define your avatar, right? What is the urgent problem? But it only needs to be one simple sentence. Rita says template. Awesome. Cool. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Rita. Anybody else? Craft the promise, results and time frame plus avatar. This is really, again, we want to keep this super simple. What's the result? What's the time frame? And who's it for? Draft your magnet, 1 of 2 pages, 5 to 10 minute video. You can put it on the front of your page or not. Build a simple landing page, headline, name, email. Write 3 nurture messages at least. I would say do the 5th one. Deadline, tell us when. Hopefully by Monday we'll see this. Hopefully by Monday. And what we'll do is, if you have them ready Monday, we'll put them in the chat and everybody will take a look at them. Right? Maybe you'll get somebody opting in from right here. And then last but not least, for accountability, once you watch that video with Mike Dillard, I want you to comment done and post something. Let me know what you got. What was the biggest part of value that they got or that you got out of that actual video? Because for me, like I said, it was the whole dopamine rush, and it explained why I've been a smoker and, all these other things. Might explain some things to you too. And before we end, here is Mike Dillard's offer. Here's how easy it is. So this is straight from Mike Dillard. If you look at the bottom, it's got his copyright here, all right reserved. This is from one of his programs called richereveryday.com. Again, I'm not promoting this. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not telling you how to opt in, buy in, none of that. If you'd like to, by all means, Mike Dillard is a stand-up character. You can't go wrong. Okay. But again, I'm not telling you to buy. I don't make a commission, nothing like this. It's not a pitch. I'm merely showing you this because this is how stupid simple it can be. And this is coming from a man who's earned over $60 million. Call him the $60 million man if you want. So anyway, that's all I got. I trust you guys got some value. Any comments, questions, follow up? Tell me what you liked about what you saw. What do you think? Did you get some value? Did you learn something new? Because if you did, good. That's what we're here for. No questions?
The
Hey.
word you offered was great, and it's a genius one. That rhythm that you're looking to set from the beginning.
Mhm.
This is usually what we're missing. And I think that's what I'm going to lash on to. Setting yourself, often enough, we forget that finding the rhythm is so essential in being able to accomplish these 5 a days or these action on a weekly and monthly basis. And having that 60-minute build plan is a great approach. It's a warm up for every day.
Yeah, I think we'll incorporate that into the How To Tuesdays and Wednesdays, right?
Yeah, we should.
Get more people into action, start seeing more success stories. That's what we want to do and see around here. Again, I'm not going to go deep into them unless you're part of the inner circle. But we can definitely cover some of that stuff on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, whatever you want to do, of course. It's up to you. But I trust you guys got some value. Like I wanted to bring this forward because of the fact that I had seen that video and the value that I got out of that video from those two amazing leaders was just something else. And I thought, well, if I was dealing with that, how I roll, I'm like, man, this is stuff that these guys need to know. You know, Again, we're not taught these things. We're not taught it right when we get started. We're just said, hey, here's a business opportunity. Come on in, and then if we got a good leader, then we might have a chance to climb. Or if we want to be a leader, we don't need a leader. We can make shit happen, so to speak. But the other alternative is we don't have a good leader. We got people that don't know what they're doing that get us involved in our business, and then we can't do anything good with it, right? We don't want people falling into that trap. Right? If you're going to do this, we want you to do it the right way. Learn the skill set that's necessary so that you can become successful, so that you can do this long term. When you have the skill sets, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that is what's going to ultimately set you free. Skill sets. So, that being said, appreciate y'all being here. We'll see some, if not all of you, tomorrow on our How To Tuesday with Virgil or How To Wednesday. Go out there, kick ass, take names.